Sorry, y'all. Had to jam out. I've been making mixes and stuff. So what up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What everybody? What's going on? It's Tempo. Uh, oh man, where can I start with this shit? So, I've been hearing there's been some beef going on out there in Poppin Land. Apparently, there's been some discrepancies with some older dancers and some young G's asking questions and trying to get more information and asking the right questions: the when, what, where, and why on you know a lot of good things. And it's coming down to battling again, you know. And I just want to address this and the stipulations so people don't get it confused, especially the young dancers. So more so, this is for the young dancers, but this is a, let's call it just a respectful word to the older dancers who I love all and respect all together, and they mutually respect me. So hopefully it doesn't just doesn't fall on deaf ears. Now, when these guys come to you, OGs, and they're asking for this information, they're asking the why, the questions that piss you off. Why does it piss you off? That's the one thing you need to ask yourself. If you're getting pissed off by somebody asking a question, depending on if they're coming humbly when they ask you a question, but if you do get pissed off, or and other dancers get pissed off, here's the thing: when people ask questions because maybe they just honestly don't know, they don't know something, whether how the question is being asked, whether it's being asked in a respectful manner or respectful tone, it's a lack of information on their end. They don't know, you know. They don't know that that's not the thing you're supposed to do. Regardless if they do know that you're supposed to ask in a certain manner with respect and an open heart and open hands, it's a lack of information on their end. It's because they just choose to do that, and they should know, but they choose not to. It's just a lack of something. These apparently there's some battling going on or talking about going on. I've seen them and peeking around, and I got word from at least 3 or 4 other dancers telling me what the hell's been going on. Had no idea, but it comes down to this, guys. Older dancers, when these kids come to you and they're asking for help, just like I've asked you for help in the past, the one thing they're looking for is that same magic that all the other dancers got before they did. Okay, that's what they want ultimately, and they don't want to deal with the beef. You know, they may want to ask about it. So more than likely, if they're asking about it, they're probably trying to avoid it in the future. And they just want to know who stands where and what. When in actuality, there shouldn't even be anything like that existing in popping, because popping wasn't built for that. You know, it wasn't built for violence. It was built for anti-violence and anti-beef. Yeah, there's always going to be a discrepancy on style and things like that. But what do we do when that happens? We go to the circle. That's just how we do it. To my OGs who have been involved in arguments like that and stuff like that, and then they get challenged and things like that, the number one thing that I have to mention, and the rules still apply, and that goes for everybody: skills pay the bills. Alright? You got to get your skills up. Still, you have to keep that current. You know, if you are lacking behind and you know that you're not as clean as you used to be, then what's the problem with going back to what you used to do? You know, like, start practicing 5 minutes a day or 15 minutes a day. I know your busy schedule. You all got kids, grandkids by now. You know, you take a little time out for yourself. Go back over those things you used to do. Reminisce a little bit, you know, the things that make you happiest, you know. Because when they do come knocking at your door and come asking, you need to be ready. Just like any good teacher or any good person who's a mentor or lexicon needs to be ready with this information at a moment's notice. You never know who's going to message you or come up to you at a jam or anything like that. You need to be ready to show them physically and verbally. Okay? This way of thinking and doing things starts to eliminate the issues that people come up out of nowhere with. You know, you have to do it this way. I know my words didn't seem like it applies, but it does when you really stop to think about it. Okay? You have to get your skills back to that extreme set. If you started in anything earlier than 1981, you should be a very extreme motherfucker. And excuse my language, I know there's kids watching, but you should be a very extreme type of person when it comes to the way you look. Yeah, I know a lot of you guys stopped. A lot of you guys got caught up in some bad shit going through the 80s. I still love you, but the thing is that you still got to get that skill up, regardless of the injury, regardless of the fact. You got to find your way around it, you know. It's just the way it is, I still go by the old school rules, and why shouldn't you, I still have to answer questions. Why shouldn't you? I am not an OG by any standard. I don't consider myself, even though I've put in I've been doing this my whole natural life, but it's good that uh, that people would handball you off to older dancers like me. I don't like to claim I know everything. I know a lot about popping, but I like for people to hear from the horse's mouth, to go looking for that information from the people who are actually there. I can only tell you about the things I've created and done and my history, but I can't really tell you too much about theirs because it's not respectful to on my end. That's my personal beliefs. So, uh, yeah, the OGs, you got to get your game up, because the younger guys are getting more hungry and hungry, and they'll be crazy enough to take you out. Um, don't know why, what the reason would be, but you got to make sure you're always prepared. Okay. To the younger dancers, please come to these dances with respect. You can't just, you got to be careful. A lot of these guys are very sensitive. You do realize that these older dancers have lost people in the midst of going to popping, an event, going popping against somebody in somebody's hood, or they used to be in a gang and then they still got affiliated and they got shot or stabbed or something like that. They got in a coke game going into the mid to late 90s, and all that stuff, and then got locked up and shit like that, or the popping was the only thing that kept people out of trouble for a lot of people, and some people just couldn't stay out of trouble, you know, got them away from fighting and things like that, gave them a pass to go to different hoods sometimes, in an element of danger when people are in the mind frame of killing somebody because of wherever they're from, even their own kind, whether it be their own race or anything like that. So you got to look at it from that standpoint. These people have been through a lot. So they are quite sensitive when they have somebody who knows nothing about popping questioning their integrity. So if you're going to question anything, ask them where they're from. Ask them, well, did you create anything? What did you create around that time frame in popping that contributed to it that people may be using or haven't used yet? There might be something you haven't seen yet that could be very usable, and then you just got to keep asking questions and coming humbly. Let's just tell them, look, man, I need help. I need help, and Joe Schmo said you can do this, or I heard about this through another OG that you can do this. You just got to get in there and ask the right questions. Things are definitely different nowadays. Nobody really goes by those standards anymore, of actually going and asking uh, a lot of the OGs. And the biggest issue I used to get, coming into all this, was that the older dancers didn't want to tell the younger guys anything because they didn't want people stealing their shit. This is a big problem. Okay, it shouldn't even exist anymore, if it does exist anymore. I'm not sure. I haven't been in the States for over a year now, so it shouldn't be an issue. Like, you're not going to live forever. If you're going to contribute, why don't you could just contribute that, and then there's no complaint. So you got to give. You have to give something of yourself. That's how you contribute, whether they see it or whether you teach them that. Eventually I have to come up all the things I've taught. I can't just keep it forever. This body's not always going to be the same. It's not going to function like the same way it is now. My body's not the same from when it was when I first came in, when I was like 19. So you got to be able to give. You got to be able to give and respectfully give. When it comes to battling OGs, really quick, because going into the 10-minute mark of this video, I don't want to be on this motherfucker talking. I got stuff to do. Calling out OG is very sensitive. I know I've done it. I think I was like one of the first people to do it on a major scale, with the whole sugar pop incident. And but it's you guys have to see the whole purpose of it. You know, if it's to a point where anybody can get it, anybody can end up getting called out, then what's the purpose of an OG then? You know, like why bother? You know, why bother giving them respect? If we have no OGs, we have no popping. Period. That's just how it is. You have to separate the OGs or the teachers from the students and the new guys coming in. You have to separate those things. Reason being, because if you don't, you'll fuck up the dance. Okay? Because then it'll just be one big blurred line in the middle, and all that is just, I don't like him, I don't like what they said, or so and so said, don't like this person, so I'm not going with it, or this person doesn't like you, and I roll with them, so I can't learn from you. It just stifles your style. You know? You can't learn that way, and the younger dancers can't learn that way, and you can't get the respect that way when there is a gray line in the middle. Now, the benefit of having the gray line in the middle is right dead smack in the middle of that gray line is the circle. Okay? All the talking and all the bantering back and forth, I never liked it even when I was involved in all that beef back then, some couple years ago. It's the circle that's where you gotta go into the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? You know, you gotta get into that church. You know, you gotta get up in there and you gotta just let it out. You know, you can bust a couple rounds against each other to see who's right and who's wrong. It's like rolling the dice or flipping a coin. You know, it's just how we do it. So you definitely. If you need to battle, you think it's feasible, I say go for it. But fuck all the shit talking because it does no good. It just wastes time. You know, if you're gonna do something, hold your tongue and then get them when you see them. No arguing. Screw all that other crap. Because all it does is just takes away from it. All the talking during battles, I never liked that. I got caught up in that, and it just made me completely unhappy, and I never got shit done. All right? That's all complete, utter bullshit. You gonna call somebody out, you do it the right way, you do it the old school way. You get your ass out there, you see who's gonna be the target, you say, hey, you, let's go, or you go up to them and say, hey, let's battle, do you want to battle? They either have the option of taking you on, or totally dismissing that, and saying, hey, I don't want to battle, I don't got no problem. You know? If the reason needs to be said, like, hey, well, you said this, you said I suck, or you're being disrespectful towards me, so I want to battle you. They're going to ask you why. Well, because of this, that, and the other. Do you want to battle? No. Okay, cool. All right. Then all I ask is please don't do that. You know, otherwise, to the circle we go. Doesn't have to go to fist or fighting or shooting or whatever the fuck you want to do. Just do it like that, you know. If you're going towards an older dancer, watch your ass because some of these dudes will surprise the hell out of you. You know, they not all of them suck or anything like that. Not all of them are behind. You know, you can't just walk up to Pete and expect to win. You can't just walk up to Slick and always expect, you know, to win or anything like that because you might catch them on a good day and they'll just tear right through you. You know, I know people who would just string you along until they just wear you out and then just turn on. Dre does it all the time. He'll clown and clown and clown. But when he figures he's got the best of you and you're just sick of him, that's when he turns on the magic. It's just, they'll bait you in, man. You got to be careful. They're very smart battlers. They have a lot of experience, you know. So you got to be careful with that. You know, they're very strategic, and it's the same strategies and stuff I learned. So you gotta be careful if you're gonna call out somebody like that. But do it respectful. None of the shit talking. I think that's about it. This video is going about 15 minutes. Y'all be good. Stay out of trouble, and keep your nose clean. And yeah, just be respectful towards each other. You guys will be able to work that shit out there. I'm sure of it. Respect each other, respect the OGs, and that's about it, you know. And OGs respect the young dancers, you know. Plain and simple. Love you guys. Please be safe out there. And if you're going to battle, battle hard. And if you're not going to battle, at least have the common decency to at least talk it out and see what the problem is so you can fix yourselves. and make things better for everybody. All right, that's my time. Peace.